Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Facebook Live, uh, Tuesday at 2. I'm Joe Van Doren, and I help parents bring out the best in their kids so that they can see them grow up to be safe and healthy, successful and happy. This week I'd like to ask you this question about how things are going for you with your child and their optimism. Are they giving up, or do they have trouble continuing on? Do they have sometimes that kind of a no hope kind of attitude? Maybe you've tried praising them, but they don't seem to respond, or nothing seems to work. Do you feel yourself discouraged about how they're doing in some part of their life in that vein? If that's you, you're really going to love this short training today on optimism. At the end of the training, I'm going to invite you to sign up for a free copy of a list of virtues, 100 virtues in the 5 strategies of the Virtues Project, so that you can learn even more about how to bring out the best in your kids. And I'll give you more details on that later, but for now, let's get started. My goal with with Tuesday at 2, is to give all of you just right parents, the parents that are committed to bringing out the best in their kids, some talking points that you can have with your children, and things that you can even review for yourself, no matter what our age is or what their age is, right? So we know that when we're optimistic, that life just is brighter for us. There's no doubt in our mind that even when we have a bad day or a bad event in our life or a failure of some kind, that it's temporary, that others have gone through similar situations, and many of them have even had it worse than us. And especially maybe it's just something that's happening at this time. We're aware that even this event or test that we've gone through feels bad, that it doesn't have to affect how we do on the next event or the next test or the next challenge that we have. We know that no one situation defines us as an individual or as a team. So when things are not going well, there are all kinds of thoughts that might be going through our head, and it's those thoughts that create a pessimistic attitude. And when I say that, I mean that we could start thinking that everything is ruined, that it's all going downhill, that it's our fault, that we can't do anything right. However, habits like those thoughts are just that. They're habits. And habits can be changed, and thought habits can be changed too. So if you or your child were expressing thoughts like that, or if failures go for long periods of time with feelings of worthlessness, we want to take the time to examine our thoughts and find better words to use in our process of healing. In the coming weeks, on Tuesday at 2, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that self-talk, that inner dialogue that takes place. But for now, I want to share with you an example that I think might be able to help some, and most of us anyway, that help us think about how our thoughts can keep us positive. So when a baby is getting ready, I don't know, getting around the age of 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, somewhere in there, they might be crawling, they might be pulling themselves up, starting to look like they're going to try walking. They do that little surf thing across the tables and couches and whatnot, right? And what do? We encourage them, and we're excited about this, the enthusiasm that they are showing for trying this new skill and the new skill that they're learning. And soon they're taking their first step, maybe even 2 steps. But then what happens? They fall down, and they take a step and they fall down, and that continues. Now, some may cry when they fall down, but others, many of them just say, hey, okay, I'm down here now. And they start crawling to get to go where they want to go, something that they're more used to. But they're not discouraged. They've seen other people walking. They've seen you walking. They've seen their siblings walk. They're optimistic. And we, the parents, are optimistic too, because we know that they're going to learn to walk. And so we're right there to give them the help that they need to encourage them. Many children in the history of the human race have gone through the same process of trying, falling, getting back up, being encouraged, and finally walking. And so as the adult in the room, we don't yell at them to get up and get to walking. After many attempts and failures to get multiple steps in a row, we're not giving up on them, telling them that they'll never learn to walk. Oh, just sit down. You might as well just give up. You haven't learned it yet. No, we don't do that. We keep believing in them that they're going to learn to walk. We believe in them. We hope for them. We encourage them to keep trying. And we do so with smiles and celebration for the successes that they have. We too can and should do the same for ourselves and teach our children to do the same. Sometimes the expectations we put on ourselves are just too high for the amount of time and effort we put into the task at hand. And sometimes we forget that out of the 7.1 billion people, or whatever the number is today on the planet Earth, there are many that have experienced the same challenges that we're going through, the same sort of bad events, the same failures that we've had. And it always comes down to our thoughts about them that decide if we're going to get up and try again, or if we're just going to give up. There's nothing that we are going to go through or experience that hasn't been experienced by others previously. And the same is true for our kids. It starts with walking. Every kid learns to walk the same way, and it goes on through life. And so when failures happen, treat it like you did when your child was learning to walk. Celebrate the incremental improvements, encourage them, and believe that they're going to get there. One more thought on this subject of optimism. Our children are unique individuals, and we hope they will all be able to do skill-wise certain things, but our hope and our optimism for those skills may not match exactly what their interests are. And so it's just a thought, but respect them for who they are and for their unique abilities and for their own uniqueness, because doing so will help to make developing optimism in them easier as they get older. My youngest son, I wanted so bad for him to learn to play ball, to catch a football, to throw it around with me. I wanted that so bad. But the truth was, he was not interested in that. And that took me so long to figure that out. Well, not to figure it out, because I knew he wasn't interested in it, but to accept it, let's say. And so what I learned from that was, he went on, he's 30 years old today. He's gone on to be very successful in his field. And what I've learned from that is this, that we need to enjoy our children and continue to believe in them as being the unique individuals that they are, because that is how they grow up to be safe, healthy, successful, happy, and may I add, optimistic. So if you enjoyed this video, I invite you to click on the links that I've provided here. Sign up for your free copy of 100 Virtues and the 5 Strategies of the Virtues Project. The download will give you a list of 100 virtues that are viewed as important to every culture in the world. And the strategies describe how to use them and implement them with your family. I'm also the host of a Facebook group, Just Right Parenting, where parents who are committed to bringing out the best in their kids meet and help each other. And I'll leave a link for those in the comments below also. So thanks for watching. And next week, I'll be going live again on Tuesday at 2 for more on the subject of optimism. Thanks, everyone.